It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I had the privilege to interview the Barton College swimming coach, Kevin Woodhull Smith. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you got started in college coaching?
Yeah, it was a long time ago now. Feels like it. So I swam my whole life. Went to NC State for school. wasn't super sure on a career path when I was an undergrad. So went to grad school, became a graduate assistant at NC State. I stayed on there. Actually, one of my good buddies was a year ahead of me at school and doing the same thing. So he went to grad school, was a graduate assistant. He kind of steered me toward coaching a little bit. And then as a grad assistant, I got my master's degree, which was great, and then got coaching experience at NC State and really started to like coaching and, wanted to stay involved in the sport of swimming. And then luckily kept getting jobs in college coaching and been working for 10 or 11 years now.
Can you talk about coaching at your alma mater, NC State, and what that was like?
It was really good. It was a good experience. I was just there for 2 years as a grad assistant. So we did coaching, but we weren't exactly full-time coaches. It was, more learning experience. I was there for the coaching transition. So I got a new coaching staff after my first year, going into my second year of grad school. So that was a different time. It was a very different time. Braden, the current head coach, came in and wanted to change a lot of things, which was good. It was good for the program. Obviously, they're doing extremely well now. So it was really different, kind of both years, different experiences. But it was good to work with a lot of different coaches. So I worked with, 8 or 10 coaches over those 2 years, just learning from them and trying to learn different things and different styles. But it was good to work with NC State. I always had love for NC State. My brother and my dad went there, and I was a fan growing up, so I'll always keep NC State in my heart.
Can you talk about, of course, competing like as a college athlete and what that was like competing for NC State?
Yeah, it was a lot different. Again, it doesn't seem like that long, but it is a long time ago now. But it was great. My college swimming experience was awesome. I swam again, grew up swimming my whole life, swam in high school. Honestly, didn't know if I wanted to swim in college for sure. I was in high school at the time, I'd say kind of not the best high school recruit by any means, especially in North Carolina. It's a great swimming state. So I had a couple friends at NC State and ended up taking a recruiting trip there, talking with the coach and deciding to go there and swim. And it was awesome. I got a lot better throughout my time there, met lifelong friends, got my degree, actually met my wife there on the swim team. So that was pretty lucky for both of us to be there and be swimming at that time. But it was great. I loved swimming in college. I leaned on that experience a lot in my first few years of coaching. I feel like now at this point, I know more about coaching than swimming wise, like personal swimming, because it's been years. But those right out of swimming, I was really glad to have that experience of swimming in college to be able to say to my athletes, like, I did this. I know what you went through. I just did it. I was a student athlete. I juggled all the time and travel and swim meets and all that stuff. So I think coming from that place is good for a young coach to have without all the years of experience. I had the swimming experience.
Can you talk about, of course, what you accomplished at ECU as the assistant coach?
Yeah, ECU was where I spent the majority of my career now. It was 8 years. It was great. It was really where I learned everything, almost everything about coaching. Working with the staff there and the club team there as well, with Coach Casey. I just learned every year. Every year I just kept learning and learned so much. We accomplished a ton as a staff and as a team. We always had good grades, which was, number one for us. Our girls' team GPA was always super high. Men won 4 championships, which was awesome. Conference championships, those are always fun. Had multiple swimmers qualify and swim at NC2A championships, which is kind of a personal goal for me. We had at least 5 or 6 over the years. Multiple conference champions, individual conference champions, and varsity records. It's a ton of stats stuff, but the championships stick out, and making NC2As are kind of the 2 biggest things. And again, good grades, and I think developing, again, my style and just learning throughout that time. That's really what the staff allowed me to do. They're the head coach at the time, and the whole staff really let me learn and taught me a lot of things about coaching and swimming and the, other side, not just swimming and coaching, but the other side of being a coach as far as recruiting and kind of the business side of things too.
Can you talk about, of course, how that has helped you now to now get the job as the Barton College head swimming coach?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be here without all that experience and, again, help from that staff. I think as the years went on, the head coach and other coaches kept giving me new stuff and more responsibilities as I, gained experience and gained confidence over those 8 years. Just developing, again, my personal style of coaching and what I believed in, and also learning, again, the other side of things. I still had a lot to learn as a head coach because I was, it's my first year, but I think them helping me move my career forward, not only, like, I really love coaching on deck and swim, the riding practices is probably my favorite thing, but there's a lot more that goes into it than that. So keeping a balance on those things is important. And I think they help me learn about that side of things a lot.
Can you talk about what you plan to accomplish in your first year at Barton?
This first year has been tricky, to say the least. It's been difficult. I think the biggest thing is kind of establishing what we want to do and how we want to do things, with just details in practice, good habits, as I like to say. Just all the kids learning all of that stuff. It's actually worked well that we haven't had as many competitions as a normal season. We really haven't had many. I think having more practice has given us an opportunity to learn a lot of those things instead of having meets, having 10 or 12 meets maybe in a season. We're probably going to have about 5. So I think just having that time to not necessarily travel, not focus on meets that much, has really helped us establish a good baseline of, again, good habits is what I like to say. We still have our meet coming up, so we still our championship meet is in about 4 weeks. So we still have a lot left for this season. But I think establishing how we do things as a team was important this first year.
Can you talk about, of course, coaching in the Conference Carolinas with Mount Olive College and Pitt Community College in that conference?
Yeah, the conference has been good. They've, kind of taught me things as well. Being a new head coach right now has been tricky. It's been a difficult transition in some ways, but the other coaches have been supportive of me, and the meet is really changing too. So our program and the conference and the kind of championship meet is not very old. I think this is maybe the 4th or 5th year of the conference and of the meet. So it's not a 50-year tradition that everything is extremely established and set in stone. So we're all kind of working together to try and find out what's best as far as meet format and meet location and just those sort of things. So it's been good. I've definitely talked with the coaches several times this season, and it's good to, we all want what's best for our athletes. So they've been supportive and helpful in trying to figure everything out this season.
What does the recruitment process look like at Barton College for swimming and diving?
That's a good question. So usually it starts with either me reaching out to someone or someone reaching out with interest in Barton. Most times kind of started around times. Swimming is a time-based sport. It's relatively more black and white than some other sports. So if they have times that would fit with our roster and kind of our conference in general, we usually set up a phone call, and I try and answer any questions they have about the team or the school or the facilities, anything I can answer about what we do. Usually we email, text. Now the rules have changed in the last, since I started coaching, so 8 years. We can do a little bit more now with texting and calling and recruiting and emailing. It's a little more open than it was. So just keep in touch with them, following their results if they have any meets. I try and get them in touch with people on the team. So right now we can't do official visits. We can't bring in kids from outside and have them stay on campus and see everything. So that's a hard thing to not have as a recruiting tool. but I try and get them in touch with members of the team so they can answer questions about stuff. And then if they do want to come and do a tour, our admissions department does campus tours, which is a great thing to do just to be able to see campus. And yeah, otherwise we just talk, 2-3 times a month just to stay in touch. And then as things progress, make sure they're a fit athletically, a fit academically, and then again, try and make them a fit, make sure they're a fit with the team are the three kind of big things we look for in recruits.
Can you talk about, of course, for the official visit, like before COVID, what would a prospective prospect do on an official visit?
So the biggest thing is meeting the team and seeing the team. And I think the reason it's people come and do it is also just see kind of a day of college life. It's like you don't necessarily go to every single class with people and you don't necessarily do the practice and everything, but you kind of see what they do in a day. So if we have 2 practices or if we have 1 practice or if we have class at a certain time or just to kind of see how things function on a day in college and just to see the campus. I think again, I've sent out pictures and videos and stuff now. It's different than seeing it in person. And talking and texting and doing Zoom is also different than seeing people in person. So a recruiting visit is to kind of get an idea of if you think you as a recruit you would fit with the team, and the team see if they think the recruit would fit the team as well. Just make sure both sides have similar views and similar goals and that sort of stuff. And say other things, just seeing campus I think is a big thing. Just seeing if you would want to live on campus, and usually get to see the dorms and just experiencing what it would be like to be a student athlete.
Can you talk about, of course, with COVID and stuff, and in the recruitment process, things have changed. How have you adapted and added to your tools of your recruitment?
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about that this week. I was thinking about kind of all the pieces we've done aside from like to kind of simulate an official visit. So without bringing people here, I try and think, well, a video of campus and the facilities is kind of the best you can do. If you can't bring them here, you can show them what it looks like. So I've done the video. Again, spending time with the team is kind of the next biggest thing. So I try and get the recruits to do a Zoom chat with a few members of the team, maybe 3 or 4 members of the team, just to get their view of things, their experience of practices and of dorm life and just kind of campus life and college life, and make sure we go over the schedule and kind of tell them. A lot of recruits ask what's a typical day for a student athlete, which is a great question. So just go over, say this day we'll have swim practice at this time, you'll probably have class around this time. I've sent out more sample practices since they don't really come and see what practice looks like in person. I try and send out a practice to give them an example of what practice would be like. So it's just a lot more videos and emails and Zoom chats. It's just a lot more digital stuff to try and recreate an official visit.
Can you talk about, of course, what a typical swim meet is like in your conference?
Yeah, we've had a couple meets this semester, the past 2 weeks. So a dual meet right now, about 2.5 to 3 hours in that time frame. Usually there's 28 events total. That's men and women. So 14 events for women, 14 events for men. Usually starts off with a relay, then individual events. Then there's a break in the middle, more individual events, another break, and then we kind of finish with the relay. So we get most normal events in a typical dual meet. Most people swim probably 3 or 4 times, do 3 or 4 events total. The maximum you're allowed to swim is 3 individual events or 2 relays, but 4 total. So the dual meets have been good. I think we've been taking as many precautions as we can. We're wearing masks right before we get in the water and then right after we get out of the water. It's kind of the best we can do for swimming, and trying to keep the teams apart from each other as far as sitting on opposite sides and not walking around the deck as much as a normal type of meet. But it's been good. It's been really good to be back on deck, and I've missed coaching at meets. Practice is great, but coaching at meets is fun too.
What advice would you give upcoming future college prospects looking to get into college swimming?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say almost every swimmer can find a home in college swimming if they want to. So just stay persistent. I would say start out wide. Don't start off with a super small list of 2 or 3. It's really hard to find the right match. It is. But if you start off with a super small list and they're already done recruiting for that class, you don't want to have to start over with a new list. So I'd say in general, start off with a bigger list of schools, kind of a wider net to cast, and just send out emails, fill out questionnaires, get in touch with coaches. If you really are passionate about swimming, though, I'm sure coaches will contact you too, probably. But either way, just be in contact with coaches, filling out questionnaires, sending in time updates. And again, I'd say almost anyone that really truly wants to swim in college can find the right place, whether it's Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, big school, small school. There are a lot of opportunities for college swimming.
What advice would you give upcoming college coaches looking to get into college swimming?
Man, that's a tough one. Young coaches, I'd say experience. Gain experience in whatever way you can. It's I know this past year has been difficult to say the least, but just get experience, volunteer, part-time, full-time, anything, grad assistant, whatever you can do to be on deck and to learn all sides of coaching too. Again, some people are better at parts of it. Of course, some people are going to be better on deck coaching. Some people are going to be better recruiters in general. Some people better at administration type stuff. So everyone's going to have their strengths, but try and learn all those sides early on, because eventually you're probably going to do one or all of those things more. It's more complicated than some people think, college coaching, but yeah, just try and gain experience early on. I think I was really lucky for me to have that grad assistant time, and then also just stay in college coaching for as many years as I have. That experience has been really valuable.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find Barton College Swimming at and you at on social media?
Just search Barton College Swimming. We're on Instagram. I think that's it. I think we're just on Instagram. The Barton College website, Barton College Athletics website, has swimming. It has all the links in there too. It has records and results from this season, and articles on team GPA, and it's got all the updates on the Barton College Athletics site. And yeah, we're on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well. You don't need to. We do most of our stuff through the college account.
Thank you again, Kevin, for your interview, and best of luck in this upcoming season.
All right, thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Kevin, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thanks.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.